Yeah, you right. Oh, Young's Dry Cleaning would have taken care of Jim Rockford's jacket. There wouldn't have been any problems. Young'sDryCleaning.com. Where's Drew Brees? Mr. Drew Brees, old number 9. That's O-L-E. Old number 9, telling it like it is. This is indeed New Orleans, Louisiana. Corey Johnson with you. Yeah, you right. A Fantasy Friday edition of the program. I love Fantasy Friday editions of the program because it's Friday. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much the reason why. No, I also like kind of our regular guest, Fletcher Mackel from Channel 6 Sports will join us. I saw he posted on Twitter yesterday, he got an e-bike. It was delivered to Channel 6 and he was zipping around the parking lot on it. So we'll ask him about his new bicycle, his new electric bike. Yay! Ugh. Just giving you time to get a towel ready in case you get nauseated. Fletcher Mackel joining us in about 15 minutes. No, seriously, I want to find out about that. Messi in Miami. No, I'm not talking like a mess. I'm talking about one of the greatest soccer players in the history of the game. Saints training camp, Pels and Zion. Boy, Zion with the admission this week. Yeah, I'm just fat and rich, and it's hard to get motivated. I like just sitting around being fat and rich. Something like that. Michael Heck from Greater New Orleans, Inc. usually joins us on the program on a Friday. He is out today. He'll join us next week. That segment's always brought to you by Latrim, the global manufacturing giant that continues to grow, continues to hire you. Dozens and dozens and dozens of job openings. And it's more than that. It's a career at Latrim. Go to their website, latrim.com, for a full listing of positions available. Latrim spelled L-A-I-T-R-A-M, latrim.com. So no Michael Heck today, but Fletcher Mackel in a few minutes. Frank Brigtsen in the 5 o'clock power hour. Frank Brigtsen will be joining us from his Riverbend restaurant in the Carrollton section of Uptown. Brigtsen's, of course. That's around 5:20. Talking food with Frank Brigtsen, always good. Did I mention Fantasy Friday? Yes, I did. Friday. Hooray. And it's past 4 o'clock. Week is literally winding down. Hey, thanks for checking us out. Spread the word. Tell your friends and family. On the radio, lots of places to check us out. Lots of ways to check us out. By the way, my website's KaareTalks.com. Kaare spelled K-A-A-R-E, KaareTalks.com. All of this is there, including live streaming, links to radio, television, YouTube, all that. Lots of radio stations picking up the program. From Oh So Fine, 93.9 FM, 93.9, to New Orleans' own 107.9, 107.9 FM, 600 AM, yep, on the AM side of the dial. Sneaky little powerful AM signal goes from like Baton Rouge through the I-10, I-12 corridor into southern Mississippi, southern Alabama, even into the panhandle of Florida. Some folks around Slidell, southern Mississippi, New Orleans East, Lacombe, checking us out at 1560 AM. KaareTalks.com. I mentioned the website. All of this there, plus live streaming, linking you to YouTube, our YouTube channel. You can go to YouTube, go to the search bar, put in Corey Johnson Neutral Ground. Click to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Doesn't cost anything. We're on TV till 5:30. Everything else, radio, streaming, YouTube, 4 to 6, 2 big hours every weekday. If you're in and around the home or office in front of TV, from 4 to 5:30 weekdays, we're there live. Cox Channel 4. That's Your View, Louisiana. Cox Channel 4 all over the state. You charter television subscribers, Spectrum, Channel 333, Spectrum, channel 333 from 4 to 5:30, all over the state of Louisiana. So lots of ways to check out the program. The potential new city of St. George. Baton Rouge constantly trying to snap off this little piece of Southeast Baton Rouge. I get it. It's the kind of affluent, well-to-do part, mostly white, most of where the tax dollars are generated for East Baton Rouge Parish come from this part. I remember Lakeview pre-Katrina. Lakeview was like 50% of New Orleans tax base. 50%. Lakeview. And it was interesting because it wasn't like it was working class. Lakeview pre-Katrina was, I don't know the median age, but it was, 60, 65 plus retirees, elderly people that had been there decades and decades and decades. Those bank branches on Harrison Avenue pre-Katrina had some of the largest savings accounts of any of the bank branches of those particular bank companies in their chain. Lakeview was a lot of money pre-Katrina, and it is post-Katrina. The demographics changed. Not so much white, but the age from like 65 to like 45. So there's folks in Baton Rouge in that nice part, Highland Road, Southeast Baton Rouge, that want to snap off that area and separate from Baton Rouge and form their own city, the city of St. George, with their own fire department, own police department. They got the votes last time. I think it was about 55% to 45% voting in favor of the new city of St. George. But then the parish of East Baton Rouge took those folks to court and have been successful. The latest, a court shoots down the St. George idea, even with the votes. It'll go to the Louisiana Supreme Court. There's about 86,000 folks making up that area of St. George. I guess the big anchor of it's like Country Club of Louisiana, Blue Bonnet by Perkins Road, some, all those areas that surround that. Kind of the affluent, nice part of Baton Rouge. Corey Johnson with you. Yeah, you right. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Hot out there. Stay hydrated. 95 degrees right now. Feels like 105. Kind of the same gimmick as yesterday. And it's a rinse and repeat thing. We haven't seen the 70s in New Orleans. I mean, if rain comes rolling in, we'll drop into the 70s. If some rain shower or the potential of a rain shower comes in, we can get into 77, 78 degrees. But most of the time when you wake up, I don't know, it could be 2, 3, 4 a.m. just to get a glass of water or whatever. If you happen to look at the temperature, it's like 82, 83, 84, 85 degrees at 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning. The coolest or lowest temperatures we're getting in Metro New Orleans this time of year when you wake up, it's like low 80s. And then every day it's kind of a rinse and repeat, mid 90s. We don't really get into the high 90s around here. We did a few weeks ago with that oppressive heat wave thing that came in for about 5 days. Maybe longer than that, a week. But normally it's low 80s to mid 90s, and then that feels like somewhere around 105. Now, I don't know dew points. I'm not a meteorologist. I see all these specific areas and vast differences in feels like temperature. I think it's safe to say it feels like 105 from Baton Rouge down to Houma Thibodeau, up on the North Shore, through New Orleans into southern Mississippi, Waveland, Bay St. Louis, past Christian, Gulfport, all of it. You can be in a particular spot that gets more of a breeze, whatever. It's hot out there. It's humid. Stay hydrated. Get to Katie's. Get to Katie's in the air conditioning in Mid-City. What a great way to wind down your Friday and start the weekend. Dinner at Katie's. Bring friends and family. Big portions. Enjoy yourself. More of the good things at Katie's in Mid-City right now.
Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
The French bread of the city of New Orleans. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville. A New Orleans tradition for over 40 years. Serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
River Cities Total Maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NOLAAC.com is your cool spot.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" He said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Yeah, you, right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson with you. on a Friday edition of the program, a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Lebanon's Cafe's open right now. They'll go till 9:30 tonight. How about lamb chops for dinner? 6 lamb chops, a couple of Middle Eastern sides, 20-something bucks. 6 lamb chops, plus a couple of Middle Eastern sides, 20-something bucks. Lebanon's Cafe tonight for dinner. Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn where Carrollton Avenue is one lane. Lebanon's Cafe, so good. I don't know why we do it. We're gluttons for punishment, but we do it anyway. Every Friday around 4:20, Fletcher Mackel joins us from Channel 6 Sports. What up, Fletch?
Not a lot, Corey. What's up?
Same old thing. SOS.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Dog days of summer here in the sports world. So
yep.
We're just kind of counting the days until football season.
It's getting close.
Yeah, less than 2 weeks away.
Yeah, it'll be old Saints training camp, exactly. And then a couple of months, it'll be high school, college, and the pros going at it for real.
Yep, it'll like you're right. It'll be more normal with what people are kind of accustomed to with their sports here. Absolutely.
Fletch, this is so typical. I was like, I know you're on Twitter, big time Twitter guy. And I was going to ask you, are you on Twitch? And I'm like, what's Twitch? And then I'm like, oh, no, it's Thread.
Yeah.
Thread. I like Twitch. Someone should come up with Twitch. Is there a Twitch?
I think there is Twitch. I think Twitch is a thing.
Oh, damn.
I'm not sure like what capacity, but I do think I've heard of Twitch. So I think Twitch is something.
All right. Sounds like a good thing. But what are you doing? Thread?
I did sign up for Threads. Yes. And I think it's fine. I mean, I think people, just my personal opinion is I am a big Twitter person. Like Twitter's my social of choice over like Facebook and Instagram. And I didn't love the fact that they put like limits on how many tweets you can see and you have to be verified to see more and you're not verified unless you pay. So I signed up for Threads. I still use Twitter quite a bit, but I am on Threads. Yeah.
And how many followers on Thread do you have already?
I don't know, a few hundred, I guess. I haven't really checked.
Yeah, you probably picked them up quick. I mean, you've got tens of thousands on Twitter, I'm sure.
Yeah, Twitter is definitely something I feel like I've cultivated for a while. So that's a little bit more substantial.
I can't grow it at all, but I was telling Jason, my producer, maybe it's things I post like this guy is in Galatoire's. It's a photo. The second line's going through there. They're like 7 comments. He's like, his comments like happy day in New Orleans. And everybody's like, great. And my post is run fast in the opposite direction. That's my post.
Yeah, maybe that's it then.
You think that might be it? You think that stops?
Could be it.
I mean, literally, that was my post. Run fast in the opposite direction. Galatoire's on a Friday.
I mean, I like that. You just got to be in the right mindset. I mean, look, I've gone to Galatoire's and had some amazing experiences on Friday. You just have to know.
What's the right mindset for Galatoire's on a Friday? Like you get hit in the head by a sledgehammer before walking in? I'm just curious. What's the right mindset?
No, I think that you're going there for a party or with a big group to kind of bask in all the, hey, we're here and we're setting up shop at 11 or noon and we ain't leaving until like last one's out of here. So
do you borrow the little headset that Drew Brees' kid had on in the Super Bowl photo to protect your hearing when at Galatoire's?
No, I kind of, again, I think if you go, you're going for the loud, the party, like that's why you go. If to me, if you're going there, I always say, like, if you're going there on a Friday to have a business lunch or to have a quiet, let's just go get a nice, like some Creole cuisine in the French Quarter on a Friday.
Yep.
There's other places you can go for that. This is, Galatoire's on a Friday is not where you go for a quiet business lunch or something like that.
Yeah. Run fast in the opposite direction. Kind of reminds me of a buddy of mine. You ready for this one, Fletch?
Go.
Guy buys an electric bike, an e-bike. Sheesh.
I did just buy an electric bike.
Oh, boy. What do you think? A buddy of mine did, and I'm just pulling that out my rear end. I saw your tweet, you zipping around the parking lot. So irresponsible, riding his new e-bike in the parking lot at Channel 6 with no helmet.
I knew people were going to say, so I made sure to say that I have a helmet and I wear it all the time. But the bike was shipped. I don't need porch pirates stealing my bike. So I had the bike shipped to WDSU, and it was too tempting to not jump on it and ride it around the parking lot.
It was ready to go? It was like one of the ones that folds open or something?
No, one of our engineers at work, I may have paid to put it together because it came in a box, and I swear I think you needed a master's degree to put it together.
No, I bet. Yeah, I wouldn't want to put that together.
Yeah, so one of the engineers at work, she has electric bikes, so she loves them and knows how to do it. So we negotiated a price, and thankfully she did it.
Nice. Now, what does that thing do? About right under 30?
No, 20.
20 is the top speed.
Yeah, 20 is the top speed.
Yeah, that's more than fast enough on a bike.
And I'll say this, I didn't realize how fast 20 is on a bicycle.
It's
like
fast.
when you hit the accelerator, it's definitely,
No, I think if you're on a regular bike and you're pedaling really fast, like you're going at it, and I'm not talking, regular bike, sort of hybridish bike, not like a, racing bike and not a big fat tire mountain bike. You're doing 17, 18 miles an hour. So
yeah,
you push really hard, standing up, and let's go. You might get it over to a little over 20. 20's flying on a bicycle.
That's what I mean. And that's what they told me is that, if you're doing, pedaling your butt off on a straightaway, you're going to get up to 15 to 18. But that's on a straightaway going, whoa, I'm going fast.
Yep.
This is like you push the button and 3 seconds later, it almost jolts when it takes off. It's got so much pickup. So that's the thing is I'm not exerting any effort. And this is 20 miles an hour consistently. And so it's pretty.
But it's got pedals. It's got pedals too, right?
Yeah, you can pedal. I mean, it's a bicycle. It's not a moped. It's a bicycle, and it also has the pedal enhancement where you can push a button and it helps you pedal. So if you want to pedal and you got to go up a hill, you can hit the plus button and it gives you a little jolt there, or you can just hit the throttle and use it as kind of like a moped.
Now my mountain bike might weigh 20, 25 pounds, something like that. Aluminum mountain bike. Hybrid bike, same thing. How much does this thing weigh?
So if I take the battery off of it to charge it, it's no different than a bicycle. But the battery is an easy 10 pounds, I'd say.
Wow, that much? The battery is that heavy?
Yeah, the battery's pretty heavy.
Now, if the battery was dead and it was on the bike, you can still pedal it and get around, or you're like, boy, this sucks. I'm having to lug this 10-pound battery around.
No, it would be like a heavier bike. So it was, I've been pedaling it without the motor sometimes, and it's fine. You can pedal it. It's just, it feels like a heavier bike, like not exactly a racing bike, or you're not exactly going to beat anybody in it. Like if I had to say, let's go as fast as we can go, this bike, you can feel when the battery's on it that it's got a heavier feel.
Yep. Now, you're fairly athletic. You stay in pretty good shape. Yeah, I try to do the same thing. Not get like the Pillsbury Doughboy. It happens though.
Yeah.
What's the benefit of the electric bike? Like, how do you still get a workout, or is it not for a workout? It's more for commuting. It seems like it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, this is not a workout bike. Don't let anybody fool you. I even reading up on this, they said that you can pedal it and it's a bicycle, but this bike, it's a company out of Santa Monica, is more cruising than real exercise. Not to say I can't get exercise, but this is not an exercise bike. Like you buy this knowing you're buying to cruise 90% of the time. And the other 10 is, there'll be a little pedaling, but mostly cruising.
And not street legal, right? No blinkers or lights or anything, right?
It's got a headlight on it for safety, but it's a bicycle. So it doesn't have, like I said, it's technically a bicycle with a little motor on it.
Now can you ride like on the bike paths with it?
Yeah. That's what you're supposed to do.
And so like on top of the levee, you can get up there and do 20 miles an hour, full motor going, and it's legal.
Oh, yeah. And it's got like these huge off-road tires too. So, which is good for our, streets and crumbling.
No, I was thinking of getting one. I'm always into getting new kind of stuff. I didn't skateboard much, so I never got that like board with the tire in the middle gimmick. But I just don't know if I want to get the motorized bike. Like, what was your reasoning on getting that?
Straight impulse buy. I saw some people that I knew that had them, and a guy that works at another TV station. I saw him, and he said, I was like a kid on Christmas. He goes, I thought it was crazy, but he goes, he lives in Lakeview and rides his bike on the bike path to work. And he goes, I literally didn't think I was going to love it this much, and just kind of saw they had like one of those 4th of July sales.
Yep. And
it seemed, they're expensive, but it still seemed reasonable for the price of them.
Yeah. What are they? They range anywhere from about $1,000 to maybe $750 to about $3,000 on up.
Correct. Depending on which ones you get.
Yep.
And so they had a sale, like a 4th of July sale. So like straight impulse buy.
Now you seem like the guy that would get on a pedal bike to go somewhere and not that bike.
I have a pedal bike.
I know. You probably have a couple. Hang on, Fletch. I'm intrigued still. And believe it or not, when we come back, we're going to get into Saints and Messi and Miami and all kind of good stuff with Fletcher Mackel.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive Complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
For over 20 years, serving healthy, fresh, authentic Middle Eastern cuisine, Lebanon's Cafe. In the Carrollton section of Uptown on the streetcar line. Wednesday through Monday, 11 a.m. to 9:30. Lebanon's Cafe.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppy disks, mood rings, and pet rocks may have come and gone since the 70s, Helm Paint has grown to become your premier source for quality Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today, and we'll meet our competitors' prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Yeah, you right. Friday afternoon, a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. We're in the 4 o'clock hour. You know what that means. Fridays with Fletch. Fletcher Mackel's with us. He just got a new e-bike. Fletch, kind of just like a modern, lighter version of the old moped from when we were tots, right?
That is 100% correct. Yeah.
Lighter, more modern, better technology. I remember the old mopeds, the old, what was it, Push or something, Pucsh or something. Anyway, those things were a little dangerous. They did a little more than 20, Fletch.
Yeah. I remember like those mopeds from like the 80s when I was a kid. I'd see,
Yep.
I remember like Time Saver with them or something like that.
Now, this purchase, I know you probably spent north of $750 $1,000 on it, so it was substantial. And right now it's a new toy and you're excited about it and you're probably going to be proactively using it. Do you think, because I think you're the guy that'll be like, why am I going to ride the motorized bike down to that event? I'll pedal and get some exercise. You seem like that dude. Do you think in 6 months, a year, you'll be using that thing or it'll be just sitting in the den with a hanger on it and a shirt?
I'm sure they'll have times where I hit a lull, but I ride my bike now and there's times where I ride it more than less. So I'm sure I'll I bought this for the long haul. It's not like I'm going to say, oh, in a year, let me sell it or get rid of it. I feel like it's a pretty durable, well-made bike. So if maybe in the fall when the weather gets nicer, I'll ride it more. When it's too cold, I'll ride it less. You know, so I don't really have a set schedule, but I'm sure there'll be ebbs and flows. Yeah.
The one thing that I like is that you're still on a bike path, because I probably would have gotten a motorcycle by now. I'm just worried about, someone going through the four-way stop and smashing into me more than me smashing into something and no protection. But this, you're not on the road.
Right. You're on a bike path. So, yeah.
Yep. And you're helmeted up. So, whatever. All right. Pretty intriguing, because I was thinking of getting one, but I don't know if I'm going to. Maybe I'll give yours a ride.
Anytime.
All right. Cool. Speaking of cool, how cool is this Messi in Miami? They're going to intro him Sunday. I think his first game will be the 21st of July. This is like Pele to the Cosmos in 78. This is it's as big as that. This blows away Beckham or anything else. This is the largest bomb in a positive way that Major League Soccer has dropped. This might change that sport, that whole league.
It's pretty significant. You're right. You just gave it pedal to the metal, and it deserves that. There's no way to undersell it. I remember Beckham coming in like 2007, how big of a deal it was for MLS, but Messi's even bigger and different. And soccer has grown. It's grown in America. It's grown. It's still big worldwide, but Messi is Messi. And yeah, look, Beckham was at the end of his career. He still could have grinded out some more contracts, especially from like some teams overseas, but Messi was still very much in demand. And he had a deal with the Saudis to go over there for something ridiculous, and is coming to MLS instead. So yeah, it's the biggest deal for soccer in the United States, I think, probably ever.
Miami is excited. I mean, all the sports athletes, different sports fans are excited, talking about soccer down there like they never have before. For how big it is for Miami, I think it's bigger for MLS, right? And then the World Cup coming.
Yeah, look, the World Cup, right? With North America and Canada and like, right, the whole deal. So, yeah, I mean, look, it's huge. It's I'm not like the soccer aficionado, but
I'm not either. But just simple stuff like our Honduran population here in New Orleans. We got like 90,000, 100,000 Hondurans. There's like 100,000 Argentines in Miami. It's just, it's a no-brainer. Plus, such an international city, about 5-6 million in the metro. That thing's going to take off like a rocket ship.
Yeah, no, again, it can't be, I can't be overstated how significant and important it is. And for the game here, for this league, for that team, I mean, they're like an expansion team, and you're getting the greatest player in modern history. And so, so it's a huge deal for Miami. And again, it just shows sometimes too, like what sports can do and the spotlight it can shine and the economic impact it can have. And so I always tell that to people when people say, why is it worth it? It's like, well, moments like this, athletes like this, big events, like that's what is great about sports, and especially sports at the highest level.
Fletcher, you can't predict these things. I would have figured 20 years ago, by now, MLS probably would have passed the NHL. They're trying to. They're following the NFL model. They used to play in multi-purpose stadiums, and for the last decade plus, they've been building soccer-exclusive MLS stadiums all across the country. They're building them the right size. They're keeping the financial model in play where it can actually work. They're not pulling a USFL and going out of business. They seem to be doing everything right, but the NHL, when they were kind of on a downward spiral, going into Vegas and different things like that, they've been re-energized a little bit. So hard to predict what sport leagues are going to be where, but MLS is giving the NHL a pretty good battle for fourth major pro sports league. I think eventually they might pass them.
I think they're pretty close to passing them now. And you're right. I mean, look, soccer has grown. Hockey is the smartest thing hockey did, and you're right, is get into places like Nashville. The Florida teams have done well. Vegas was an untapped market when hockey went there. And look, that's one of the things I've always said the NBA, has done well, is they plant their flag in a market and they own it. You look at like Oklahoma City, Memphis, Salt Lake City, Portland, like that's good because those are places.
Orlando.
With massive population. Orlando. They have money. They have discretionary income. And in good or bad, people are going to invest in the team. Whereas some cities are oversaturated or some teams aren't as successful. And I think MLS has done a solid job with that. Look, Austin's a success. And I understand you want to have teams in the biggest cities with the biggest population bases. But I think hockey expanding in the non-traditional markets and having success has been good. In MLS, just the growth of soccer as a whole, it's probably been slower than what people thought. But I mean, look, if you'd have told me 30 years ago, before MLS was in existence, that they'd have a league that has as many teams as the NFL and is continuing to grow, and the worth of these franchises is where it is now. And like you said, they're building soccer-only stadiums. I would say that sounds pretty good for 30 years.
Yep.
So I think they've done pretty well for themselves since their inception.
Fletch, I'd like to see that, River Market District get built. And part of that is a soccer stadium, maybe 4,000 seat soccer stadium for this minor league team that's one level below MLS. That would be nice.
I agree. Look, I'm all for any development in New Orleans and anything that makes the city better, because I feel like we're in a little bit of a rut right now, kind of like it feels like similar to the days right before, and then especially, I don't know if anything feels similar to right after Katrina, but I feel like since Katrina, we're in a low point, unfortunately, right now. And there's things that you want to see happen, business development, economic development, and that would certainly show, hey, look, this is still, a place where you can go downtown and there's commerce there, and that's great. And so I'm all about that development. And yes, if it means a minor league soccer team like they've been talking about and proposing, I'm all for that as well.
Yeah, that South Market, not South Market District, that River District, if they do $500 million plus of, construction and investment, that's transformative. That's what we desperately need, Fletcher, something in New Orleans that's transformative, something that's huge, that's big, that everybody sees. It, I don't know what it is, a major car manufacturing plant on I-12 on the North Shore, something in Orleans proper, something in the East, something in Metairie, something on the West Bank. We need something transformative. Hey, we're going to knock out another quick break in a second. I want you to chew on this before we go to the break. You get to pick your poison. We're going to knock out both topics, but when we come back, which one do you want to talk about first? Kamara and the Saints or Zion Williamson? And that was some strange admission by Zion Williamson, huh? I'm rich, I'm young, so I really don't know what to do with the money. I get fat, I lay around, I'm lazy, I'm kind of a bum with the money. I'm going a little off, but that's sort of what I got out of it. Am I wrong?
No, that was kind of read between the lines takeaway.
Yep. All right. You think about both of those, Zion Williamson, and I thought sort of a good, bad, and ugly admission. We'll discuss that. And also Alvin Kamara. We know what happened in Vegas, Fletch, but the NFL's next. I don't think the NFL's concerned one bit about Vegas. I think they look at that as another municipality may have gone after the felony in jail time. Someone else may have even let him off with less than what Vegas did. So I think the NFL is going to have their own penalty. I want your take on that. Fletcher Mackel's with us. Another edition of Fridays with Fletch. Hey, Frank Brigtsen's going to join us from his restaurant in about 25 minutes on the program. Hey, don't forget about Friend and Company Fine Jewelers, guys. Getting her some diamond stud earrings, diamond tennis bracelet, diamond necklace, real diamonds, natural diamonds, 1 billion years old. Friend and Company Fine Jewelers on Maple Street.
What actually lasts a lifetime? Not much, but at Helm Paint, we have something guaranteed to last a lifetime. Benjamin Moore's Regal Select. This paint and primer in one offers cutting-edge waterborne technology, smooth application, and long durability. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, your New Orleans paint store.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
For over 120 years, New Orleans' very own Leidenheimer French bread.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets has daily lunch specials Monday through Friday, and their entire lunch menu is available too. Open 11 a.m. through 2:30 p.m. For the finest in Sicilian and Italian cuisine, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend and Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, fuller part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models, and it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
He's a Yaddy New Orleanian just like me. He just doesn't get the chicks like I do. I had to say chicks, Fletch.
Whatever makes you happy.
Well, you just called me out on that one time. Like, what other 1975 terms are you going to use?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, to each his own. I feel like, like everything is of a time and of a place. But you're right. I think there's certain terminology now that people look at and go, ooh, should he say that, or is that a dated term? And
yeah,
so,
yeah, it pretty much tells you what it says, what the person that said it is all about. And when you were saying you're right, I was like, what? You're admitting I get more chicks than you. That's good. I like that. Hey, Fletch, I know you like these gimmicks, little New Orleans neighborhood gimmicks. Guess where I was today?
Where were you today, Corey?
I was on Barone in Uptown. I went to Martin Wine Cellar and got a roast beef po' boy.
Okay.
And then like the next block over on Barone, there's like Z's Pizza. Have you been to that place?
I haven't been there yet. And I know, like, is it like Lucy Boone ice cream over there?
Yeah. Now, how do you know about the Lucy Boone ice cream?
Lucy Boone. New Orleans has done a great job with some of these local ice cream places.
Yep.
There was a place that just closed and it was sad called Rom House. That was great. Lucy Boone is great. But there's a lot. There's a place in the French Quarter, Sweet Saint, that's really good. We've got some really, really great local. Look, I mean, Creole Creamery is the gold standard of local ice cream. But like Lucy Boone and sadly Rom House closed. But I mean, there's some really good ice cream makers.
Yep.
New Orleans ice cream is another good one. I mean, there's a lot of really good ice cream in New Orleans from some craft businesses.
So I got a roast beef po' boy. Ate half of it because I was like, oh, Z's Pizza as I was parking. And I got a couple of slices of pepperoni. Then I got a pint of cookies and cream to go from, what is it? You said Lucy Boone? Yeah, Boone. And then I went across the street to the bakery, Beth Buendo Sweets. And right across the street, got a brownie, chocolate chip cookies, and some more ice creams, homemade ice cream sandwich. So it was 4 places, all right there on Barone by General Taylor, by Martin Wine Cellar. Pretty amazing, man. These little nooks and crannies. It's like 2 blocks of commercial right in the middle of residential. I love New Orleans.
Yeah, no, like I said, and I know that that's become a really popular little strip of businesses. And I mean, I've had Z's Pizza. I just haven't been to their bricks and mortar since they opened it. And then Lucy Boone, she used to be out of Zach Streep's place. What's the brewery? Port Orleans.
Okay.
And that's kind of where they started as a pop-up and then got their own bricks and mortar. But Lucy Boone's really good stuff. I mean, they've got they've got a really nice following. They do a good job.
Yeah, she said 40% butterfat in that ice cream. I'm like, that's a crazy amount of butterfat. So I'm excited to try this cookies and cream tonight.
There you go.
All right. You want to get on Zion or Kamara first?
It's your show. Just here.
All right. Zion, I mean, immature admission, huh? And like I said, hey, I'm rich. I make a lot of money. I'm a kid, so I don't really know what to do with it. And I got fat and out of shape and lazy and really hadn't been focused. What is it, 4 years now, Fletch? 4 years?
Yeah, he's entering year 5. He's played 4 years in the NBA. He's missed one entire season, huge swaths of others. He's only had one season where he's really been healthy. And a lot of it is because of his own doing, his conditioning and not staying in shape and not rehabbing. And so it's been sad.
No, it's ridiculous. This guy's got to get it together, because if he does, the team's damn good, and do it for yourself. The gravy. If he just does it for himself, the Pels win. Everyone wins. But you got to be, svelte. You got to be like the photos we saw in the preseason last year when he was sitting next to McCollum and they both had flat stomachs. He can't be the big bloated 300+ pound, Pillsbury doughboy. It's not going to work.
No, it's not. And when he is in shape, he's otherworldly. I mean, that's what I tell people. You don't understand how good and special he is when he's in peak form. But what he's got to realize, and look, David Griffin said a lot of this in Las Vegas doing some podcasts recently, is he was always bigger, faster, stronger, and it didn't have to work. Well, now you're in a man's league, and this is your profession.
Yep.
And there are other men that play and work hard. Like somebody said this. Nobody doubts that people at this level love what they do. Zion loves basketball, but like Kobe and Michael and LeBron, they love the grind to be great. And that's what Zion doesn't love. But
or if they don't like the grind to be great, they know the grind to be great is required. You can't just do it on talent and love of the game alone.
Yeah, but we've seen enough documentaries about, at least I have, and read enough about MJ and talked to the people that covered him and Kobe. And look, LeBron's the same way. Like, these guys are insane workaholics because they know to be great, it takes great work. And that's the one thing that some players don't understand, and it hasn't clicked with Zion, and hopefully it does. Because if he works to be great and understands how great he can be, the sky's the limit for him.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. Hey, we got about 30 seconds. Kamara, first off, the NFL doesn't care about the law. They have their own investigation. We won't see Kamara till late October, right?
I think 3 or 4 games. So
you don't think 6?
No. If it's 6, look, I'm not one of these conspiracy theorists, but if it's 6, they've got it out for the Saints and Kamara.
Oh, no way. 6 is the norm.
No, not for a misdemeanor like that. No way.
Well, the misdemeanor part is irrelevant. That's where we disagree. It's a felony. The NFL looks at it as a felony.
But it's not a felony.
No, the NFL looks at it as a felony. They don't care what he settled in Vegas for. They're concerned about the video in the elevator, Fletch.
Yeah, that's why it's going to be 4, not 3, but not 6.
All right. I'm thinking 6. I think we're way off on this. We disagree. I think what the law did in Vegas is irrelevant to the NFL. They look at it as a felony. But I'll let you get your take in next week, Fletch. Always a pleasure.
All right.
Wear the helmet with the e-bike already. 5 o'clock powwow next.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, Breitling time, 5 p.m.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see. What about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became number one for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson.
Susan Spicer joining us on the program.
Even when they presented me the award, the people that I look up to the most, Frank was there and Donald Link was there. It does cause you to reflect back and think about your whole career.
Maybe the Ella Brennan Award says that to you, like I've arrived.
It certainly is kind of the ultimate honor when it comes to cooking and hospitality in New Orleans and the world.
New Orleans style talk gumbo, served daily.
Doesn't get much better than that, huh?
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
5 generations, family owned and operated. Leidenheimer French bread. Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Due to the fact it's Friday and Corey wants to go out and party, the 5 o'clock power hour of the Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson will not be heard or seen this afternoon. Instead, reruns from Hawaii 5-0 from 50 years ago. That's right, we're going back to the 70s. Dano, McGarrett, the whole crew. It's reruns of Hawaii 5-0 coming your way next. It's not Maui? It's not Honolulu? What? It is New Orleans. No Hawaii 5-0 reruns. It's the 5 o'clock power hour on a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Yeah, you right. Fantasy Friday, 5 o'clock power hour. Love it. We're on the brink of the weekend, kiddies. We've earned it, huh? Yeah, you're right. Weekend time. Get a little extra sleep, drop some coals, do some grilling. If it's the kind of grilling that doesn't require you to stand by the grill and grill, too hot for that. We're right on the brink of the weekend. Yeah, you're right. I like this very time of the week. A little bit after 5 o'clock on a Friday. For most folks, 100% of the work week in the books. For most folks, the weekend is just starting. It's all in front of us. We like recognizing this very time of the week. We do it by blowing the 5 o'clock whistle. We do it by blowing the 5 o'clock whistle. 5 o'clock whistle appropriately brought to you by Katie's in Mid-City. You should be there right now, the quintessential New Orleans neighborhood restaurant. And don't forget about Scott Craig's other place, Francesca Deli and Pizzeria in Lakeview. You can't go wrong. Katie's in Mid-City, a true taste of New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria with about 15 different specialty deli sandwiches to choose from and so much more. 5 o'clock power hour. 5 o'clock whistle on a Friday. Brought to you by Katie's in Mid-City and Francesca Deli and Pizzeria in Lakeview. There she blows. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. I've said that already. Yeah, you right. I've said that already. Yeah, I'm pretty fired up for a Friday, as you should be too. Weekend time. Frank Brigtsen's going to join us in 10 minutes from his restaurant in the Riverbend, the Carrollton section of Uptown. Brigtsen's for nearly 40 years. Talking a little food. We don't eat to live in Louisiana and New Orleans. We live to eat. Frank Brigtsen will join us to talk food in a few minutes on the program. I love getting Fletcher Mackel on. I like Fletch. I respect Fletch. He knows sports. He knows it a lot better than I do. It's what he does for a living. You know, I just kind of look from the side. But I like when we both have super strong opinions. We both feel we're right, and there's sort of opposite views. Fletcher's looking at the Kamara suspension as like 3 games and looks at it as it's a misdemeanor. I look at it as a 6-game suspension, and the NFL doesn't look at it as a misdemeanor. They look at it as a felony. The NFL does not care one bit what happened in Las Vegas as far as their legal system and as if they cut a deal with Kamara or not. There could have been a municipality that said, we're going to stick with the felony. We want to see this guy serve jail time. I'm not saying the NFL doesn't like that it's going away legally and is out of the news compared to some hell-bent DA that is going to go over the top and wants to put Alvin Kamara in jail for 30 days to prove some point. I'm sure the NFL prefers the former, not the latter. But as far as their disciplinary decision-making, I think what happened in Vegas as far as their legal decision is irrelevant. Fletcher said 3 games because it's a misdemeanor. I don't think the NFL looks at it that way. It's X amount of games. I think it's going to be 6, and they look at it as a felony. They look at it as he pled down to the misdemeanor. They look at it as our own folks. We don't care about Vegas. What we saw in the elevator, the video we've seen over and over and over again, what Alvin Kamara did, that's the NFL's personal conduct policy. I would be shocked. I would love, I'd throw a party if Alvin Kamara gets 3-game suspension. If Alvin Kamara is playing by the beginning of October. We may not see Alvin Kamara till the beginning of November. First game is the 10th. I think the bye for the Saints is early in the year. So the first 6 games could put the Saints basically by Halloween, end of October, first week in November. I don't think we'll see Alvin Kamara until then. Super late October or super early November. A full 6-game suspension because the NFL is going to look at it the way they look at it. Any player, any team. Not, as Fletcher said, if it's more than 3, they're out to get the Saints. I just don't buy into any of that. What's the NFL's incentive, objective, goal to be after the Saints? Let's go get the Saints. What's the point compared to other NFL teams? So I don't buy into that kind of stuff. But I also think the NFL isn't and doesn't care what happened in Vegas legally as far as how they're going to decide to discipline Alvin Kamara. Do they like that it's pretty much over with in the public eye? Yes. Is that better than some hell-bent DA that would want to put Alvin Kamara in jail to prove some point? You bet. But the NFL is going to look at it through their own investigative eyes, their own level of discipline. They don't care if he went, pleaded down to a misdemeanor or if it could have been a felony as far as how they're going to discipline Alvin Kamara. So I totally disagree with Fletcher on it's a misdemeanor and it's 3 games. I don't think the NFL cares that it's a misdemeanor, and I think it's going to be 6 games. That's my opinion. We'll see. We'll see. I hope Fletcher's right. I don't want to be right. I'm just trying to look at it fairly and objectively. I think Fletcher does. But obviously for the Saints, for Alvin Kamara, for Saints fans, me off the air, away from the mic and camera, yeah, I hope Alvin Kamara gets 3 games. That's what I hope. That's what I want to see happen. What I think's going to happen, where facts and logic take me at least, 6 games. 6 games. Frank Brigtsen's going to join us in a few minutes from his restaurant. Rouse's Markets, best quality, best price, best selection. Over 60 Rouse's. 20 plus in Metro New Orleans. That means like more than a third, about 35% of all Rouse's Markets are in Metro New Orleans. New Orleans grocery store, South Louisiana's grocery store. They've got everything, local products, national products, even international products. Amazing grocery store. And those Rouse's labeled items, fantastic. Super high quality at like half the price. Tastes like home. Rouse's Markets. Getting you ready for the weekend. Yeah, every Friday, Fletcher Mackel joins us. Fridays with Fletch. Every Friday, Frank Mackel joins us. That's coming up in 5 minutes. Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans, Inc. usually joins us. He's out trying to lure some business to New Orleans. He'll be back with us next Friday on the program. About 95 degrees out there, feels like 105. The usual gimmick, we wake up every morning and it's like 80-something degrees. And by the peak hours of the day, it's going to be mid-90s, feeling like 105, 106. We're not getting out of this mode for a while. Stay hydrated, lots of water. H2O. Agua. Ideally, if you know you're going out in it, like the pros, like roofers and AC people and landscape folks and folks that do outdoor stuff in this heat, they're getting, hydrated before they get out in the absurd heat. So might be smart for you to do the same if you're going to get out in that stuff. And what I recommend, I play golf. I'll tee off at 6:30 in the morning. I'll tee off at 7 a.m. Knocks out two things. One, you're playing faster because you don't have a bunch of groups in front of you, especially if you're the first group out. You can knock it out in like 3 hours, 3.5 at the longest, instead of some 4.5 hour painful waiting on every shot type of round. So you're not waiting on anyone, and you really beat the heat. The oppressive heat, it's funny. It starts rolling in around 8:45, 9, 9:15, 9:30 in the morning, and then just goes until, 6. So if you tee off like 6:30 or 7, or if you get to the hunting or fishing hole or hunting blind or doing the, landscaping, whatever you're doing outside, you get there early in the morning, you definitely can beat the heat. Coming right back. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store, and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" And he said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Served in New Orleans' finest restaurants. Leidenheimer French bread.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you. Hey, let's head to the River Bend, the Carrollton section of Uptown, Dante Street, right off the Mississippi River. They've been there for nearly 40 years in a little Creole cottage that's about a century old. Talking about Brigtsen's restaurant. James Beard award-winning chef Frank Brigtsen joins us again on the program. Ella Brennan award winner. Frank Brigtsen on the program. What up, man?
Where you at, Corey?
Yeah, you right. TGI Friday is right, huh, Frank?
Yes, indeed. Going to be a great weekend in New Orleans.
How was your vacation week?
Oh, it was wonderful. Thank you. We had a nice, relaxing time, just chilling at the beach.
Oh, nice. You went to your usual spot?
No, we stayed close to home. We went to Fort Morgan, Alabama.
Oh, nice. I like that. By Kiva Dunes.
Yeah, very nice. And 4 days there and relaxed and came home and ready to go again.
You got your Rouse's Market right on the corner down there.
There you go.
Right on Fort Morgan Road, right on the, about 20 miles from where you were. I've been down there myself. I play golf at that little peninsula course, Kiva Dunes. It's a nice little area.
Beautiful.
About half the distance of where you usually go, which we'll keep secret.
Yeah, it's a much shorter ride, and it was just right for what we wanted. And happy to be back.
Any of that Silver King corn on the road down there?
Oh, yeah. We stopped at Burris Farmers Market, of course, and got corn and some field peas and tomatoes and peaches. Always got to make a stop there. South Alabama, Baldwin County is a great agricultural area, producing great produce.
That Silver King corn is just so sweet.
Oh, man, it was so delicious. I ate a couple of ears the first night, and then we cooked it all, and then Marna cut some off the cob and sauteed it with some onions and other vegetables as a little side dish. It was so good. Sweet as candy.
Like a corn mokshu kind of thing, huh?
Yep, exactly.
Yep, that's so good. Well, I used to go to this place when I'd go to Atlanta like 20 years ago, visiting this girl I dated. Their cornbread had pieces of corn in the cornbread.
I like that.
Right off the cob, Frank. Really good. Anyway, what's cooking at the restaurant, man?
Well, what's happening right now locally is eggplant. There's an explosion of eggplant from our farmers. And also I'm getting some gugutza from one of my farmers, too. That's a midsummer vegetable.
What's that, a big Italian squash?
Well, it's actually a gourd, but it's like a squash. It's very popular in Sicilian cuisine and also in Vietnamese cuisine. And so we, like, the Sicilians often make a stuffing or dressing with it. So that's what I did. I made an Italian sausage gugutza dressing with onion, celery, bell pepper, garlic, little breadcrumbs. And we're serving that with our panade eggplant parmesan. And for the eggplant, we're using these baby Japanese eggplant with marinara, mozzarella, and Italian sausage stuffed gugutza. Ooh la la, so good, man.
It's Frank Brigtsen's Italian restaurant.
Yeah, well, to me, I was just thinking about that dish and how really Creole it is.
Yep.
You know, it's got the New Orleans Sicilian goodness about it, and I just love it. It just rings home for me.
Yep. No, that Creole Italian, that's tough to beat.
Yes, indeed. And interestingly, last night I was talking, Table called me out, some regular customers, and he gets Creole tomatoes from the same guy I do. He wanted to know, Frank, where are you getting your tomatoes now that Timmy's plowed up his fields? I said, the grocery store, the Pro Mart. That's the best place for me. I just need a handful anyway. I said, what's really happening right now is eggplant. The market's exploding with eggplant. I got about 5 different varieties in my cooler right now.
And this is all grown locally, Frank?
Yes. Yeah.
I didn't realize we had such a great climate for eggplant.
Oh, yeah. We got the little lavender and white Japanese eggplant, the purple ones, and then some sort of roundish purple and white ones, purple beauties. So we're working with that. So right after that conversation with that guest, I turned around to go back to the kitchen, and there was a gentleman that had walked in the front door, and Rhonda said he wanted to talk to me and introduce himself. And he said, here, I'm a landscape architect, but I also farm a little bit just for fun. And I brought you a case of eggplant because I have so much. And so we've got like 40 pounds of eggplant in the cooler right now.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's great. And fish-wise, we haven't seen speckled trout or flounder in like 3 weeks. So we haven't had Meunier in the menu. And so I said, we got to have Meunier. So today I bought some striped bass fillets, and I requested smaller ones. And I just cut it up about an hour ago. Oh, my gosh, this is going to be just perfect. They were just the right size, pristine fresh. So we have pan-fried striped bass with roasted pecans and Meunier sauce. And I'm very, very excited to have that because that's something I can get every day.
Yeah, I love that dish. Just, you don't want like a 1 inch, 1.5 inch, 2 inch thick piece of fish. It's a fillet, not a steak fish. And boy, that bass seems perfect size.
Yeah, it was great, Corey. It was 6 to 7 ounce fillets, which is just right. And I'm really, really excited about it. We have to have Meunier on the menu here. I mean, that's just something that we're known for, and it represents Creole cuisine so much.
Yep.
I've got some, a larger party just came in the door at 5 o'clock, and it's a relative that I've never met before. My godmother's name was Sue Brigtsen. Smith was her married name, so Sue Brigtsen Smith. And this is her son, Robert Brigtsen Smith. He's got the middle name, Brigtsen. And his son, who I have met before, he got the first name. His first name is Brigtsen.
Nice.
Brigtsen Smith. So, and then my Sue's sister's coming in. So I got some family that, it's nice to connect with. Brightsens and Smiths. It's kind of funny. So looking forward to that. And it's also this weekend, I don't know, it might be under the radar a little bit, but the American Culinary Federation, which is the professional chefs organization, they're having their conference here in New Orleans this weekend.
Wow.
And tomorrow night I'm hosting a party for some members of the ACF. This is the ACF, America's World Cup, Culinary World Cup team. Some of the junior members from that team are coming in, so I'm excited to host them and share some New Orleans hospitality and Creole cuisine with them.
Hey, Frank, why don't we cut it a little short this afternoon on this Friday so you can go take care of your family?
I appreciate that. I'm anxious for the busyness we're going to have tonight. The first turn is full and slamming, and we're going to have some fun.
Any
be with you, Corey.
Any openings tonight or tomorrow night?
I think it looks like we might have something late tomorrow around the 8 o'clock time frame. So give Marna a call. She's there on the phone right now.
861-7610. 861-7610. Frank, always a pleasure. Enjoy your evening.
Thank you, Corey. Y'all have a great weekend. We love you, New Orleans.
That's Frank Brigtsen from his restaurant in the River Bend. 861-7610. Put it in your phone. 861-7610 Brigtsens in Uptown, Carrollton, section of Uptown, the River Bend, 4 minutes from River Road at Causeway. They're on River Road, like Dante, that Dante shopping center. You can park right there. They're like 20 feet down. They're the next building over. Little Creole cottage. Brigtsens, so good. And priced right. For what you're getting, really priced right. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Corey Johnson with you. Hey, Leidenheimer French Bread's been with you your entire life. There's no one watching, no one listening where Leidenheimer French Bread hasn't been a part of your life. If you're a New Orleanian, Leidenheimer has been baking their French bread in the city for over 125 years, since 1896. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French Bread, Leidenheimer Baking Company. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Yeah, you're right. We say goodbye to our television audience. Radio audience, you folks checking us out live streaming YouTube, we seamlessly continue until 6 p.m. If you miss the 4 o'clock hour, you miss Fletcher Mackel. Pretty interesting. I think Alvin Kamara will miss 6 games. I think the NFL likes that the plea deal happened and it's a misdemeanor and it's going away in the news. But I think the NFL looks at it as by their own rules, their own regulations, their own investigation, their own set of standards. And just because Vegas and Clark County had Alvin Kamara take a plea deal and it was a misdemeanor, not a felony, there could have been another county in another state where they would have gone after Kamara for a felony. There could have been another community in another state where it was multiple felonies. There could have been some hell-bent DA. We want jail time for this NFL star because he is an NFL star, and that's going to send a message. The NFL knows this. This isn't universal law. Anywhere Alvin Kamara was, any DA, this situation, it all would have been pled down to a misdemeanor. It is a misdemeanor. It isn't a misdemeanor. It's a felony. And he pled down to make it a misdemeanor, which is great for Alvin Kamara. Good for the NFL. Like we said, the $100,000 for medical bills. Then there's the private, civil trial, not criminal trial, which won't exist because Kamara settled with this guy for millions of dollars would be my guesstimation. North of $2 million, a lawyer involved, big-time lawyer. Taking at least a third, if not 40% of that. So I think at least north of $2 million. The NFL loves that it's settled. The NFL, for news attention, spotlight on Alvin Kamara, one of their star players, they love that he pled down to a misdemeanor and it's, quote, going away. But the NFL doesn't look at that and go, okay, that's that. The NFL has their own standard. They're not relying on a state or a DA or a municipality to set that standard. Now, obviously, they like that it's going away. But as far as their disciplinary action behind closed doors on Alvin Kamara, I totally disagree with what Fletcher Mackel was saying last hour. He said it's going to be 3 games, and if it's any worse, it would be the NFL like going after the Saints and Kamara over the top, and it's only a misdemeanor. And they're not going to give him more than that because it's a misdemeanor. I disagree with all of that. I think it's going to be 6 games. That's sort of the NFL standard. I don't think the NFL cares that it's a, quote, misdemeanor legally. I think the NFL looks at it as a felony. They see the video. They saw what happened in the elevator. I mean, what if Las Vegas and Clark County would have just dismissed all charges and Kamara just had to pay the victim? The NFL would have been like, there are no charges. There's really no penalty. The NFL has their own standard. So I think it's going to be 6 games. We'll see. I don't think they care one bit about Alvin Kamara pleading down to a misdemeanor as far as their penalty. I think they only care about it as far as the media attention is gone from Kamara and gone from the NFL. They like that. But I think Kamara is going to get 6 games. I hope I'm wrong. I hope Fletcher Mackel's right. I hope the NFL's like, let's just make it go away. But I think the NFL has a standard, and I think the NFL, doesn't want every player they penalize, having some kind of strong appeal. Boy, Kamara only got 3 games. I did something less, and I'm getting 6. So anyway, no, I hope I'm wrong. I hope Kamara gets 2 or 3 games. But I think the NFL doesn't care that he pled down to a misdemeanor. They look at it internally as a felony. And I think he's going to get what they usually throw out, which is 6 games for this type of stuff. I don't think we'll see Alvin Kamara. I think the Saints have an early season bye. First game, I think, is in the Dome against the Titans on September 10th. I don't think we see Alvin Kamara probably till early November. Hey, Trey Yen in Mandeville on the North Shore, so good. It's not Chinese food. It's Chinese cuisine. And I'll tell you this, too. Trey Yen, if you're, man, I like Chinese food, but I really love seafood. One of the best seafood restaurants in New Orleans, because the Wong brothers, 5 Wong brothers, all gourmet chefs. They've been here almost 50 years. They love our seafood bounty. They embraced the Louisiana seafood bounty. Crawfish, crabs, soft shells, oysters, shrimp, flounder, speckled trout. Trey Yen, some of the best seafood anywhere. Trey Yen in Mandeville.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision. a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
Here's New Orleans native son, Corey Johnson.
New Orleans City Councilman Freddie King joins us.
So I want to first say thanks for having me. And believe it or not, man, I used to listen to your show all the time driving home. So it's an honor to be on.
Freddie, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. It's an honor to have you on the program. Thanks.
The official afternoon talk show of the city of New Orleans. It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground, where New Orleans is heard.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center. It's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anyway. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
New Orleans style talk gumbo, served daily.
You must have had the jumbo.
It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground.
Jumbo?
Sorry, I mean the gumbo liar.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. Thanks so much for joining us. A Fantasy Friday edition of the program. New Orleans is a pretty amazing city. I mean, take today, for instance. I don't know where else you get this. I order a roast beef po' boy to go from Martin Wine Cellar up on Baronne. And as I'm parking, I'm coming up like General Tail. I'm like, oh, yeah, Z's Pizzeria. So I was like, I'm going to get a slice of that. But I already ordered the po' boy. So I was like, I'll eat half the po' boy and I'll eat a slice of pizza. So I grabbed my po' boy, then I went right down Baronne to the next block, past Martin Wine Cellar in Uptown, and went into Z's Pizza and grabbed a couple of slices of pepperoni. Then I went to Lucy Boone's Ice Cream, right next door to Z's Pizza. It's a husband and wife operation. She told me 40% butterfat in that ice cream. So I got a pint of cookies and cream to go. Then I crossed the street and it's Lucy's, it's Beth's Sweets. Beth Buono, I think is how you pronounce it. Biondo. So Martin Wine Cellar for roast beef, Z's Pizza for pepperoni slice, Lucy Boone's ice cream for a pint of cookies and cream to go, and then Beth's Sweets for chocolate chip cookie, brownie, and she had some ice cream pie. I got that too, an ice cream sandwich. She makes her own ice cream. Obviously, Lucy Boone makes her own ice cream. Pretty amazing. All on Barone Street, right by General Taylor. That's Barone in between Louisiana and Napoleon. Just amazing. All right there. There's so many places like that. I mean, I live in that Carrollton section of Uptown, so Maple Street has a bunch of stuff. My vet, my chiropractor, Maple Street Cafe, Jamella's, Coat Sud. I mean, just amazing. You continue up Maple across Carrollton, you're over in that Riverbend section where Brigtsen's is. The mediocre at best Camellia Grill, places like that. You've got Willow Street. You've got, right off Willow, that's Lebanon's Cafe right there, block from that Chevron. You got Oak Street with so much stuff on Oak from Carrollton to the parish line. So no, that Carrollton, when you say, man, it's like its own little town, it was its own little town. It was its own little city. And it just really is an incredible part of the city. So I live in that area where there's so much, plus easy access to River Road and Old Jefferson. And Oshner, with their expansion and growth, Jefferson Highway is starting to kind of come up a little bit. More stuff popping up. You come in from Claiborne on the Jefferson Highway, that little S-turn, all of that area is coming up. More and more stuff coming, more and more investment. Apartments being redone, retail coming in, more and more. Plus, there's space, lots available for sale signs. There's going to be strip malls, more stuff like that coming to that area. So I live in a culturally rich, mom and pop, neighborhood in that Riverbend, Carrollton area. This little block and a half stretch, Martin Wine Cellar, cross General Taylor, the next block with all these places. And I named about 4 places. There's about 15, I'd say, retail places right there. It's just outrageous. Martin Wine Cellar, Z's Pizzeria, Lucy Boone's Ice Cream, and Beth's Sweets. Just love that stuff in New Orleans. I love the bakeries. Boy, Maple Street, the bakery right there on Maple Street, fantastic. That, what is the bakery on, right there in Holly Grove? Bellegarde. Bellegarde's really good. It's mostly wheat. It's kind of you don't get white French bread. You kind of like a, tan look, but really, really good. No, just so many great bakeries. And the little sweet shop I went in today on Barone was really good. It's amazing. No, that's what I love about New Orleans. Just the neighborhoods, the mom and pop stuff. I mean, Magazine Street retail from like Henry Clay all the way into the CBD, like about 4 miles of retail on Magazine, is like no street anywhere in America. Just special. And amazing, the mom and pops. Then you do have some national chains kind of slipped in there, but low profile look, low profile signage. They fit in quite nicely. I have no problem with any of those national chains on Magazine. None of them. The mom and pops dominate. They always will. No, just a fantastic street. New Orleans is a fantastic city. You folks that live in the suburbs, the exurbs, I know a lot of you 30, 40, 50 years ago, you were complaining about New Orleans and the crime and blah, 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 and you moved away. I hear you. I'm not saying that New Orleans is some safe city and you don't have to look over your shoulder. I bum out that coming out of the quarter, I got to look over my shoulder, kind of head on a swivel. But it's not going to keep me from going to Irene's or to Bayona. It's not going to keep me from going to good restaurants in the French Quarter. I'm like your average New Orleanian. We don't go to Bourbon Street. We don't go to strip joints. We don't go to, the French Quarter like tourists. Been there, done that. It's a toilet. But the good parts of the quarter, the crime's not going to keep me away. Got to be careful. Got to be alert. Can't be stupid. But I'm not going to stay away. No, I feel bad for folks that refuse to come into the city because you miss what I did today on Barone Street, and you can't get it in Metairie or on the North Shore. Not even close. You can't get it. Magazine Street, it doesn't exist in Metairie or the North Shore, anywhere else in the South. And there's just too many good people, too many good places, doing too good of a job, doing world-class cuisine and other things that I'm not staying away from that. Stay away from New Orleans, avoid New Orleans. No shot. Head on a swivel, be careful, be alert, be smart. You damn right. Of course. It sucks. It's unfortunate. I'm not in denial about the violent crime, but it's not going to drive me away. Look, Chicago's got a violent crime problem. So does Miami, D.C. You ever fly into D.C. or Miami or Chicago to go on a little trip or vacation? You ever think for a minute, oh my God, violent crime city? You just go have a good time. You know what areas to avoid, where to stay away from. I'm not going to Marie Laveau's grave at 2 a.m. in St. Louis, cemetery number 2. Got to be smart. But also I'm not staying out of the city because Jefferson and St. Tammany, I love them, part of Metro New Orleans, but they alone don't cut it for me. Don't cut it for me. I'll tell you a good place in Metairie right now. 6 blocks in from Orleans Parish. Fausto's Italian Bistro. And they're open for dinner. And tonight, because it's Friday, they go till 10 p.m. Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets. Some of the city's best Sicilian and Italian. You folks that have been, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You folks that have never been, what are you waiting for? Dinner tonight, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore led us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Since 1896, a true taste of New Orleans, Leidenheimer French bread. My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Come on down to New Orleans' own Bourbon Street, the toilet of the Crescent City. Literally. Need to urinate? Pee right on one of the historic buildings. Need to vomit? It's okay. Throw up right in the street. Bourbon Street. Prostitution, drugs, strip joints, daiquiri shops, and trinket stores. The toilet of the Crescent City. Come on down. It's Bourbon Street.
Not a politician or part of a political machine. Corey Johnson.
I propose that I use what's left of the town treasury to move to a more prosperous town and run for mayor.
In Metro New Orleans on 93.9 FM and 107.9 FM.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Yeah, you, right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. A Fantasy Friday edition of the program. It is hot out there, like 95, feels like 105. We're in mid-July right now. So we've got the rest of July, all of August, same heat, most of September. I mean, we really don't come out of this thing until October. So we're in the dead middle of the dog days of summer. It doesn't matter if it's a weekday, a weekend, overnight, or holiday. If your air conditioning goes out, you're in trouble. Get that problem solved quickly and the least painful way possible. Call Fair and Honest Lucas and the boys at River City's Total Maintenance. Honest air conditioning experts that come immediately. I focus on those 3 things because they're the 3 most important things to be concerned with, to worry about when it comes to an air conditioning outfit that you're bringing into your house or business to fix your stuff. Honest air conditioning experts. Fair and Honest Lucas and the boys are incapable of screwing you around. They'll only do the work, service, repair, replacement that is absolutely necessary. They're air conditioning experts. 35 plus techs, hundreds and hundreds of years of experience. They know what they're doing. They diagnose it right away the first time. And they come immediately because your air conditioning's not working in this heat. Honest air conditioning experts that come immediately. It's River City's Total Maintenance, 841-3300, 841-3300. or find them online, nolaac.com, nolaac.com, River City's Total Maintenance. If you missed the 4 o'clock hour, you missed a lot. Fletcher Mackel, another edition of Fridays with Fletch. And if you missed the 5 o'clock powwow, just a few minutes ago, Frank Brigtsen was with us. That's Blue Boy with us as well, saying have a great weekend. Do that. I'll see you Monday at 4 o'clock.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, Breitling time, 6 p.m.